Good morning, family, and welcome to Morning Heart Devotion with Dr. Yong and our Heavenly Parents Holy Community. I'm Hans Stevens. I'll be your MC for the next few days. And let's now begin with a greeting to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. 천지엔 참부모님께 경배 바로. Now for our family pledge, 가정맹세. 1. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천혜의국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 천혜의국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. Thank you for that. And to open us up with prayer this morning, I'd like to invite up Mrs. Kyoko Bowman. Would you pray for us, please?
Heavenly Parent, true parent, thank you so much for day to start anew with the brothers and sisters who are very faithful to you and try to reach the goal which you are given to us. Heavenly Parent, I truly pray for Japanese movement in this time. They are now the crucifying and persecutions, just like Edo era, and the people who are faithful, they have to put in the feet on Jesus pictures. Father, that's a very difficult time to do as a believers. Father, we always remembered our life of faith, time by time, we had like that, and the smaller level or bigger level. Dr. Yong always said, as denied ourselves, that exactly same artistic positions. Heavenly Parent and the human history, people who willing to die through those people's heart, restoration is taking place. Heavenly Parent, your life always sacrifice the person who you loved you so much. This is our history. Heavenly Parent, I truly pray in the world there are so many brothers and sisters. They face same circumstances. And please guide them and protect them. Final goal, our happiness is to reach you. Our happiness to understand your heart, to love us. I thank you so much. We have a new day to start. And so appreciate it. And we can always have new input, new realization ourselves to keep going a day. I pray, Center Blessed Family, Jackson Kyoko Bowman's name I offer. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you so much, Kyoko-san, for your heartfelt and hopeful prayer. Brothers and sisters, let's now go into our breakouts and share our appreciations with one another and come back in a few minutes. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you enjoyed your breakout. To share first, I'd like to invite up Dr. Johnny Sonnenborn. Oh. And by the way, Dr. Yong is in transit to Alaska, so he's not here. So I'll try to boost my energy a little bit more to compensate for him not being here. But yes, Dr. Sonnenborn, your appreciation.
Okay. Yes, so I'll share as I did with you, right? I'm really grateful for Annie Gloria Gilmore. She's an old lady in a wheelchair. And ever since my legs required enough, I've been going out to a nearby playground park armed with 1-hour lecture manual, because that's guidance. And things always work best if you follow guidance. With the simple goal of each day, at least one person will have learned the first 4 pages of the manual, which includes the amazing new truth and the picture of the Revelator, Reverend Song. Even if they've seen that, that's a great benefit, because True Mother wants parents' name to be known. Almost always I get at least one person, and more recently I'm getting 3 sometimes, and I've established myself as the central to the whole area. And with Mrs. Gilmore, then we get a second time. She came a second time. The third time, she waved to me as I'm walking slowly towards her, moved over, sat down, had me sit right next to her, and gave me so much love, and she wants the book herself. So I'm so grateful to her. That's my appreciation.
Thank you. Beautiful. Really, I'm so happy to hear that witnessing is giving you life. Thank you for sharing, Dr. Sonnenborn. And to share next, let me invite up Eiko Orikasa.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Yesterday, I attended Reverend Milham's breakthrough. That time I said, every morning I attend morning devotion, but I couldn't attend the breakout room because I couldn't prepare grateful point, and so I couldn't. Reverend Milham said, yeah, welcome back, yeah, welcome home, yeah. Breakout room is my family room. So I'm so happy, I'm grateful for to have lots of family members, America all over the world. Sometimes I hesitate to go to this room, but I'm so happy to have this lot of family members. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's really beautiful. Maybe we shouldn't call them breakout rooms. We should call them family rooms, where everything's okay. You can say whatever you want. It's your family. Yes, thank you, Aiko-san. Aiko-san. All right, with that, brothers and sisters, let's prepare our hearts and minds to receive our Dr. Yong this morning. It is a recording, so let's give him our full attention. Okmanse.
안녕하세요. Good morning, good morning. My dear brothers and sisters, clergy and members of peace, 안녕하십니까? Because we have the workshop in Alaska, I need to record 1 or 2 morning devotion content. And today I'd like to talk about the unity of the world and humankind's responsibility from True Mother's Anthology, Volume 2. Let's study.
The unity of the world and humankind's responsibility. On the Korean Peninsula, the Jacob and Esau of the 20th century are faced off against each other in the form of the 2 Koreas. The true parents, working with true love in this conflict, confronting Kim Il-sung in the position of the false parent, have restored through indemnity the realm of the victorious parent. Through this process, Korea was established as the third Israel, that has accomplished history's ultimate victory and has become the chosen nation of a new and united world. Korea, as the third Israel, is the base from which the true parents and their children are able to accomplish their fervent hope for a unified world of peace. It holds a central position for building heaven on earth and in the spirit world. It has to be understood that, from a providential standpoint, the great prosperity experienced by Korea, Japan, the United States, and Germany in the post-war period has been due to the fact that these countries received God's blessing, again, with Korea as Adam, Japan as Eve, the United States as Abel, and Germany as Cain. In the Garden of Eden, at the time the fall was perpetrated, the archangel was with Adam and Eve. In this age, when the seed is planted on the level of the individual, it bears its fruit on the worldwide level. Korea, the Adam country, is neighbored by Japan, the Eve country, as well as by three archangel countries, the United States, China, and Russia, all vying for advantage on the Korean peninsula. With the protection of God, however, these countries are developing an alliance among themselves centering on Korea. In his time, Jesus was not able to bring about unity among the nations of Asia. Today, we are seeing the fulfillment of God's will to indemnify this on a worldwide level. Similarly, the significance of the coming of the Asia-Pacific cultural sphere is that a substantial sphere, both material and spiritual, such as Jesus sought to accomplish in his time, can be constructed in Asia. In other words, the countries of Asia must now establish a united world centering on the true parents.
Yes, I will summarize what Mother said here. Because of true parents' victory through restoration through indemnity, Korea as the third Israel became the base from which the true parents and their children are able to fulfill their will and fervent hope for a united world of peace, and it holds a central position for building heaven on earth and in the spiritual world. Secondly, in the Garden of Eden at the time the fall was perpetrated, the archangel was with Adam and Eve. In this age, when the seed is planted on the level of individual, it bears its fruit on the worldwide level. Korea, the Adam country, is neighbored by Japan, and the Eve country as well as by three archangel countries, the United States, China, and Russia, all vying for advantage of the Korean peninsula. Now, God's providence is advancing to where Japan, the United States, and China, and Russia are developing on alliance among themselves centering on Korea and bringing unity among the nation of Asia, which Jesus was not able to accomplish in his time on a worldwide level. The significance of the coming of the Asia-Pacific cultural sphere is that a substantial sphere, both material and spiritual, which Jesus sought to accomplish in his time, can be completed in Asia centered on true parents. In other words, the country of Asia must now establish a united world centering on the true parents. That's why recently, really, True Mother and countries talking about the Asia-Pacific Union and centering on the era of the Asia. So, living divine principle, and again, let's study heaven and hell. Let's study EDP first.
Heaven and hell. It is not God who decides whether a person's spirit enters heaven or hell upon his death. It is decided by the Spirit himself. Humans are created so that once they reach perfection, they will fully breathe the love of God. Those who committed sinful deeds while on earth become crippled spirits who are incapable of fully breathing in the love of God. They find it agonizing to stand before God, the center of true love, and choose to dwell in hell of their own will. Since the human spirit can grow only in the soil of the physical self, the multiplication of human spirits takes place at the same time that the multiplication of physical selves occurs during earthly life.
Let's study Father's word.
You must receive the proof of subjugating Satan. Since the fall took place, not in God's presence, but with Satan as subject, we must subjugate Satan in order to free ourselves from its realm. We must be able to say, Satan, you wretch, I am where I am now because of you. I will subjugate you and return to God. If you do not obtain the certification that you subjugated Satan, you cannot receive God's love. Jesus, too, was victorious in overcoming the three great temptations. We cannot go to heaven without obtaining Satan's signature that we were historically victorious. Heaven and Satan's seal. The Unification Church is the only place that will teach you that you need Satan's approval to go to heaven. We are quantitatively different from established churches. They ignorantly say, Reverend Moon of the Unification Church says that you need Satan's approval to go to heaven. Therefore, he must be Satan. Is that what I am teaching you? Those people really love to spread rumors, but we are not the people that the rumors speak of. No matter what, you must get Satan's signature. When Jesus overcame Satan's three great temptations, Satan acknowledged cheerfully, you are eternally different from me. Jesus' victory depended on Satan's acknowledgement.
Yes. Since the fall took place with Satan as a subject, if we do not subjugate Satan in the end, we cannot enter kingdom of heaven. That's why if you do not obtain the certification that you subjugate the Satan, you cannot receive God's love as well. And we cannot go to the heaven without obtaining Satan's signature that we were historically victorious. The Unification Church is the only place that will teach you that you need Satan's approval to go to the heaven. We are quantitatively different from established churches. If heaven were a place we could enter just by believing in Jesus, God's providence would not have been prolonged like this. When Jesus overcame Satan's three great temptations, Satan acknowledged tearfully, you are eternally different from me. In order to obtain Satan's certification, you ultimately need to subjugate even your enemies. Just as a father subjugated Gorbachev and Kim Il-sung of substantial Cain realm. If we do not love the enemies on our level, we can never enter kingdom of heaven. That's why one thing I'd like to suggest to all of you is to make a list for loving your enemies. If there are someone who has even a little bit of conflict with me, or that I cannot love, you need to make a 짝사랑 prayer list and pray for them. Then go to them directly and establish a standard of the loving them. Everyone has to overcome the hurdles of loving their enemies. That's why when I was young, I'm really struggling, not really enemy, but I'm struggling a little bit with some guy. because of his leadership, because of his character, because of his own fallen nature. You know, maybe I am right, he's wrong, but I need to reflect on myself. So Father's guidance, without overcoming your enemy, there is no way to remove your fallen nature. That's why I write down my prayer list, the Jaksarang prayer list, to really pray, really someone I cannot love. And also I cannot close the relationship. So then I pray and pray. Sometimes I go to that place and meet my enemy, or have a not so great relationship with someone, and then meet them and talk to them. I feel that my heart is become more deeper and more wider and more embracing. My brothers and sisters, that's why I am telling you, you cannot love your enemy. You cannot obtain Satan's certification. You know, that's why in the kingdom of heaven, there is no enemy. You need to love everybody. Total salvation means what? You need to love even Satan, even your own enemy. You know, through this kind of about the way we can raising up our spirit. I can love everyone. I can embrace everyone. But this is really challenging, but that is a reality. You know, to enter the kingdom of heaven, you need to obtain Satan's certification. Today's youth ministry, the fire of the heart. Let's study.
The fire of the heart. Because fire burns, it gives off light and heat. Because our hearts are also burning all the time, we are overcoming reality with enthusiasm and hope. When we compare this kind of flame with our hearts, we today must become resurrected people. Those who are being resurrected are those whose hearts are always on fire. We are the people who feel pity for true parents, for their circumstances, and fulfilling the will. Resurrected people are those who long for true parents and feel pity for his will. As we have a heart to serve true parents and know their circumstances, our hearts are on fire to fulfill that will. Therefore, when resurrected people come to know the circumstances and heart of true parents, they will also have tears. On the other hand, if we live with hearts not on fire, trying to light it on fire also brings tears to our eyes. Also, even though I myself am not burning, trying to light others also brings tears.
Yes, the heart is like a fire. Just as a fire always gives off light and heat. Normal, healthy faith means that our heart is always on fire. If your heart is on fire, you can burn any difficult circumstances. And since a person whose heart is on fire is always burning, they are enthusiastic and passionate in everything and always overcome reality full of hope. Those who are being resurrected are those whose hearts are always on fire. How much have we felt pity for true parents' circumstances and fulfilling the will? And how much are we burning to accomplish that will? One important attribute to becoming a leader is a passion. A leader without passion cannot be called a leader. That's why one who have a fire for the sake of God's will always have a passion. So for me, as a leadership, okay, I think one of the most important things as a leader, you need to have the very clear vision. Secondly, you need to have a passion. As a leader, there is no vision, no passion. You cannot leading anyone. So very important. As a leader, you need to have a fire. Fire means a passion. really you need to work harder and really become very much positive and aggressive and challenging and overcoming and again go forward and centering on the vision. That is a true leadership, my brothers and sisters. Since the more you know God's will, and the more you know through difficult circumstances and hard and wishes, the more you feel really pity for the will and strive to fulfill it. Your fire cannot help but burn. On the other hand, when we do not have such a heart, since we try to light it on fire, tears come to our eyes. Also, even though I myself am not burning, trying to light others also brings tears. Next.
I must overcome my surrounding environment and human relationships. We are like wet wood. We also have to conquer many things. We have to sanctify the vulgar things within us. We are ones who have to go out while fighting like this. Next, we have to harmonize the disharmonious things in our surroundings. Our surrounding environment is always wet. We are stuck in habits and stuck in preconceptions. When it is not always possible to create an environment of hope and a new heart, I have to fight by burning my heart. I must live attending God, centering on my individual and environmental realm. And I must overcome conflicts with the people around me and inspire them. The problem is that I am always easily in discord with the people around me or invaded by the environment. Being in discord means to be invaded. Being invaded by the surrounding environment means to become emotionally in discord and conflicted.
Yes. Fallen people are like a wet wood. You are dry wood or wet wood? Wet wood does not easily catch on fire. Fallen people easily have discord with those around them, become dominated by the environment and have emotional disharmony and conflicts. Therefore, we have to conquer everything and sanctify the vulgar things. Next, we have to harmonize the disharmonious things in our surroundings. Our surrounding environment is always wet. We are stuck in the habits and stuck in preconceptions. So my heart must be burning with a fire. Therefore, what we have to do clearly understand is that I must live attending God, centering on my individual and environmental realm, and I must overcome conflicts with the people around me and inspire them. Next.
My spirit must be burning. When I am invaded by my environment and become dominated or become emotionally divided and conflicted, my heart gradually burns out. Since I am dominated by my surroundings and shrivel away, my spirit is weakening. That is why my spirit must be burning. It must be burning with tears. I must really invest my heart and light it on fire. A person who burns their heart can be seen as a man of few words. In a word, he is a mute. People with pity in their hearts must become a mute. Resurrected people say nothing. Resurrected people feel grateful when they see good things and feel pity when they see uneasiness and conflicts. Each of us is a person who embraces God. Each of us has a God-given original nature.
Yes. Since our surrounding environment is always wet, when I am invaded by environment and become dominated or become emotionally divided and conflicted, my heart gradually burns out. That's why my spirit must always be burning. It must be burning with tears. I must really invest my heart and light it on fire. A person who burns their heart can be seen as a man of a few words. That's why, in order to keep that kind of burning spirit, no other way. You need to meet God. Always need to pray. And then you really have a beautiful experience with God. When you see God's difficult circumstance, God's difficult about the situation, and console him and comfort him, and then God giving you really strength and power. And then you need to determine. Now, I always really Father's word inspire me that I need to work harder than God. I need to work harder than true parents as a child. This kind of filial piety, this kind of Hyojong concept with the tears, no matter how much you are tired. Actually, for me, today is a really whole day, really so tired. I'm recording this speech now, 9 p.m. Not easy. Not easy to really put my heart to deliver God's message. But when I think about God's difficulties, when I think about the true Father's hard work, and then my burning heart and my passion comes out, because God is working harder than me all the time. True parents is working harder than me. Really, Heavenly God is my example. And true parents are my true example. When I think about them, and then I have a power, I have a passion. That's why when you just only think about your own self, when you are tired and easily exhausted, and then you try to sleep, but you need to do something. Then you need to think about God. You need to think about the true parents. They are really working very hard. So only we can get strength and power from our true parents, my brothers and sisters, right? Sorry about that. The important thing is here that those who with pity in their heart must not speak, just like a mute. Rather than words, they should prioritize putting it into practice. If words precede actions, the fire in my heart goes out. If you see good things better than the word, you should feel grateful. If you see uneasiness and conflict, you should feel pity. My brothers and sisters, always we need to remember, our spirit always be burning. When Heavenly Father lost his children, his heart is really burning to really bring back his children. Never, no time to get tiredness. That is the heart of our true parents. That is our heart of our heavenly parents. Next.
People liberated from the satanic realm. You can distinguish whether or not you are liberated from the satanic realm by centering on longing. If I have longing, I can immediately tell if I am in God's standpoint or my own standpoint. Therefore, we cannot fall away from our original nature's standpoint. Since I know God's standpoint, if I fall away from God's standpoint, it is sin. If I do not fall away, it is original nature. Each of us know all about what God within us wishes for. Each of us knows how to behave. The heartistic attitude of longing is very important. If we only rejoiced in that relationship without any longing, that is the formation stage. Rejoicing over the relationships you have and belonging there means you are in the formation stage.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. People who are liberated from satanic realm always have longing. They have a longing for God and a longing for people. And when they see uneasiness and conflicts, they shed tears because it is so pitiful. If I have longing and tears to fulfill my will, I can discern good and evil. And I have immediately tell what kind of person I am in. Therefore, you must never debate from the God's position. We should always ask, if I were God, what would I do in this situation? And discuss about it. If I fall away from God's standpoint, it is sin, Father said. If not, it is original nature. Each of us know all about what God within us wishes for. We must live we must live our lives by always checking our emotions with longing and tears for the will. If you have a longing heart for God, if you have a longing heart for true parents, and then any difficult situation comes, sometimes you need to distinguish good and evil. You immediately can distinguish what is good and what is evil. That's why longing heart is a key. One who truly longing for God, one who truly longing heart for true parents. And then you know what's going on, what's the problems. And then always you have the tearful heart and mind for the sake of God's will, and then immediately you can distinguish, immediately separate, good and evil. This is really powerful. That's why as a leadership, always need to have tears, always need to have the longing heart. As long as you have a longing heart for the sake of the God's will, always you have tears to love for people. If this kind of longing heart and the mindset of that kind of the really loving heart and tears, really, even no need to receive revelation from heavenly parents and true parents, you know where to go, what to do, how to distinguish between good and evil. Today, we really learn very important thing. That's why we need to really must live our lives by always checking our emotions with longing and tears for the sake of the God's will. Thank you very much. God bless you. I'm so excited to go to Alaska. And that I really, all the leadership, we really need to inherit our true personal legacy. And so also we need to have many plans to discuss for the sake of our future activities. 감사합니다, my dear brothers and sisters. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yong, and everyone for joining today. And I hope everyone got something really deep in today's session. I know I did. And now for our living testimony, we have a second generation brother who we ran into during our time in Korea at Chungpyeong. He and his family members completed a 40-day workshop and is here to share the story with all of us. So let's welcome up Simon Jung from Maryland.
Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, my name is Simon Jung. I'm from the DMV area, and I'll be talking about my family's journey to Chungpyeong, where we had a 40-day workshop. So it's from the 12th of July to the 25th of August. A little extended, but it was with my parents, my brother, and I. And I'll be sharing a little presentation here. But yeah, it's our trip to Chungpyeong. So yeah, Chungpyeong. Why we went there? We had several reasons why. Of course, most important reason was for True Father Songhwa, his 10th anniversary. But also two more things. We had my father. He was in America. He was recently diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And while we were here, no matter what treatment was given, no matter what therapy or effort was made, nothing was really working. Nothing was going towards the right direction. And so we decided it would be best if we go to Chungpyeong for his sake, but also for his future health as well. And also another reason was for my brother. he was planned to have his commitment ceremony in Cheongpyeong. So now he is with his fiancée. So great news to him. Pretty thankful it went well. But yeah, as we arrived there, this is what kind of stuck out to my mom especially. It was True Mother's slogan, which was, in Korean it's 참 아버님 만나러 가자, which means let's go meet True Father. And along the way, I'll explain why that's so important and why it means so much in what she says in that moment. So yeah, I'll be talking about Cheongpyeong. First thing is the holy grounds there. Here's what I felt. No matter how many times you go to Cheongpyeong, and no matter how many times you go up the Holy Trail, what true parents have set down for us, it never gets old, really. This environment they put down for us, the feeling you get from being there, and the sense of hope that arises, it's always so refreshing. It's always so hopeful. It's always so calming at the same time. Yet you understand why so many people go to Cheongpyeong for that sake. So yeah, as you know, we went there for a 40-day workshop. And currently in Cheongpyeong, there's only a Korean team there. There is not. I don't think there's a Japanese or international team at this moment. But taking in the content was a bit difficult, to be honest. I'm not truly the best at Korean. Also, True Father's words is very difficult to understand. But what my mother said was that what Dr. Yong says on morning devotion, it's pretty similar to what was said there. So as a whole, if we, as us people in America and elsewhere as well, if we follow what Dr. Yong says in his guidances, it's all of us are making a step towards the right direction. So even if you don't get the same experience as you do over there as here, in the end, everything's True Father's words and everything's his guidance. But in the end, we're all going towards the right direction. And then with the guidances as well, there are special topics or various topics that are explained as well, like family love. We had received like some sort of counseling about family love, like how you should go on about a day or how you should see your family. As you see in the picture on the right, the age group varied quite a bit. So we had some people, or we had a brother who was in middle school, and then we had elderly people as well that attended the workshop. And on the left here we have my family, also extended family. So it was nice seeing how everyone's comes from different areas, different spots, different ages, but yet everyone's still one family together. And I feel like that's what's so special about Cheongpyeong. Like no matter who you are, no matter what age you are, everyone's still part of one family, one church, and we're all still unificationists. So yeah, and then next thing we're talking about is my brother and his commitment ceremony. Yeah, it was it's such a. I feel like I'm not the one that received it, but I felt like it was so refreshing in a way, seeing my brother receive it at Cheongpyeong. It's so beautiful seeing the environment that we were put in, but also the other family that had accepted my brother. Like they're so welcoming. They're so I don't know. It was such like family in the beginning. So I really appreciate it from them. Also seeing how happy it made everyone. I'm sure it'll go well for him. So yeah. And then next thing along the schedule was we're invited by True Mother to go see the museum, Chonjongwon, but also True Father's burial ground. And what my mom had felt was that even though True Father was resting there in Korea, even though he resides there, he still rests in all of us and within all of us. So despite the fact that he may not be with us on earth, yet he is still with us in heart. And so it's a point to remember that we are not alone in these kind of moments. Things may get hard, of course, but also we still have True Father, God as well, True Mother. Everyone's always with us in these kind of moments. And then next thing was True Father Songhwa. I'm sure everyone knows. I'm sure many of us attended it, but we were able to see many special performances that were given, but also special guests like Mike Pompeo, who shared about True Father's efforts throughout his life, and also True Mother. And one thing that stood out that True Mother had mentioned was that is if we unite with her, we will eventually unite with everyone, but also we will unite with True Father. So that's why I said in the beginning, like why True Mother's slogan meant so much. Like, even though she says that we must go on to meet True Father, but it just shows how important it is that her time is limited here on Earth, and we must do our very best to take this time to unite with her, so we're able to come back together with True Father in this kind of moments. So yeah, I think seeing how it's not, I guess in outside secular world, seeing someone's death is not the most bright day in a way, but seeing how we're able to take this kind of moment and still bring everyone back together on a special day like this was very heartwarming to see, especially for your father as well. And then another thing that we attended was Think Tank. We were invited to this event as participants, and what I found amazing was that as a movement, we've come this far. Like, we're able to talk about political matters. We're able to talk about such not broad, but very universal topics, like about the unity of Korea and what we can do from now on to help bring that together. But seeing that our church is involved in that, that's so cool. And what kind of moments are we able to see that in other aspects? But also, yeah, it just shows what unity can really do for us, but for other people as well. We're able to come together, different countries, different officials, but yet we're all still on one term. I thought that was so amazing to see such a moment like that. And the final thing I'll be sharing is about Chomshiwon, which is the prayer hall there. It's the province of Chomshiwon. So the prayer hall there, what I'm aware of is that lots of miracles arise, lots of prayer and devotions given there for the sake of maybe oneself or from others. And as a family, as we were going home, we were able to conclude that this trip was very successful for our family. I mentioned before about our father. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's here, but I think we believe that's not really the case. It's just a lot of injuries that led up to that kind of moment, and seeing that his health had gotten so much better. At first, he was barely able to walk, to be fair. He was unable to do many things on his own, but as time went by, we were able to see the slow progress. I have a little video to share. It's this video. So if you see here, my father, he's finally running. That was never possible, and as you see, he has a smile on his face as well. You don't really see that too often from my father, but seeing that, it's just such an amazing moment for us and our family, seeing his growth as well, but also how much gratitude we had for Chongpyeong and Chu parents as well. In such a short time period, we were able to see a smile appear on his face, but also in the end, it brought a smile to all of our faces as well. So yeah, that was our trip to Chongpyeong. It wasn't our first time going there, of course, but it was a 40-day experience for me as well. But seeing how much, if we put a lot of devotion and a lot of effort into what we can do, things will naturally come to us. But we can't just ask for it. We have to continuously give if we want that to happen for us. So yeah, that is my experience and my family's experience of our 40-day workshop. So yeah, thank you.
So much for putting this together. I think your pictures are really great. You're really talented. I think we all felt we were there and going through it was like a tour of Chongpyeong through the eyes of a family. So thank you so much, Simon. I'm sure we're also happy to hear that your father's health is improving and your brother's commitment ceremony. So yeah, so many blessings yet to receive. So thank you so much again. With that, brothers and sisters, let's now go into our breakouts, our family rooms, and share our reflections on today's message, and see you back soon. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you enjoyed your breakout. I'd like to invite up first to share Mr. and Mrs. Rodney and Susan Edwards. How to unmute here. Unmute, please.
You have to go to the most difficult, be willing to go to the most difficult place. So my most difficult place is to do yard work on my own. And to find projects I know she wants me to do, but I don't want to touch them. I don't want to look at them. Those are projects I did yesterday. And so when my wife returned home, it was a completely different looking yard than it was when she left early in the morning. And she was so happy. So I bore fruit by denying myself denying myself completely. I did what usually I don't want to do. And she became very happy. That's my testimony.
Victory.
Yeah, victory. Yeah.
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 So I'm very grateful for my husband to give that kind of effort. And I'm very grateful to have met Milan.
Yes.
I'm very grateful for this technology that we could just meet people from all over the world.
Right.
And, because Milhan is really good. I really appreciate his second gen kind of heart. And he could make a big difference for other second gens. And I hope he comes to Florida and helps us over here, because we have some second gens that need some inspiration. Yeah. And we need a lot of, we need his kind of fire.
Amen.
I'm really grateful for what Dr. Yong said about the fire.
Amen.
We need that so much. Whenever we feel tired, then think about true parents. Think about God, how much he's working, how much suffering they're going through, especially true mother also. She's already so old and she's going. And I need to connect to that. I need to help her to overcome that suffering. That was always my thinking, to overcome their suffering. True parents, they suffer so much. And now Dr. Young going to Alaska, he's going here and there. And also true mother with her children. She should be already retired and be happy with her children. But she can't, because there's so much work to do. So we gotta pick up the pieces and challenge Satan and get him to to surrender. But I have so long way to go. So I'm so sorry. I have so much repenting to do. And thank you so much. I'm grateful for my husband. He's a good team member. We are a team. We gotta, when we overcome all our challenges, then we're a good team. But we have all the difficulties, that Satan puts in front of us. We're not a good team. But we're also grateful for our Trinity. We have a Trinity. So we pray for them, for another family and another person. So that helps us also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edward's family, for and the praise as well. But yeah, I know Satan cannot help but give you all kinds of certificates for doing the things you hate. And for the sake of your spouse, I think that's a really powerful example. So thank you so much. And yeah, we'll stop by. Maybe go by Disney World and then, maybe stop by the church someday. It sounds like a good idea. Thank you. And to share next, let me invite up Mrs. Vera Tsumagardi.
Good morning. I think the one thing that we didn't hear that Rodney said in our breakout is that he wants to really make an effort to love his wife, and he felt he had to do the most difficult thing, which is yard work. I think my husband can relate to it. For a long time, he hesitated, but over time he can see how beautiful everything becomes after he invests. So now he is starting to like it as well. But one takeaway that I had from this morning devotion, I mean, of course, there are quite a few, but since I am trying to witness to this Baptist minister, the one thing that really stood out here is that Dr. Yong said, if people could simply enter by just believing in Jesus, then there's no reason for God to have to prolong his providence. And then I added in my mind, and probably no reason even for Jesus to come back, because we can simply believe and we go to heaven. That's it. So, but of course, it's much more intricate. And so maybe this, if I'm humble enough and find a way, I may be able to pass this on. And yeah, I'm very grateful for morning devotion always. It changed my life, my lifestyle, changes my day. Without morning devotion, I can't go. So and I'm very grateful for you also, Milhan, and for all our wonderful second generation. You have no idea how much comfort it is to us, first generation, to see that you're stepping up and taking responsibility. Is very beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Vera, for your insight. And we're second gen. Yeah, we're okay. We'll just need a little time. And yes, I'm grateful too that I can step up. The providence, but and also gardening. I think that's the key. I think that's where God and Satan are at war, is in the garden. So yes, I think we can win this one together as husbands and wives. Thank you. And now let's do some reminders. Number one, let's invite someone to morning devotion. I think they're going to benefit. Even just invitation can be an act of love. Second is that on edu.familyfed.org, you can find transcripts and all the great stuff from morning devotion there. I know I've used it just to find that something that Dr. Yong said that you're not quite sure, you can just search it right there, edu.familyfed.org. And if you'd like to make a donation, please do. You can check out the link on the chat and online and receive more blessings. For our musical offering, I'm very excited to invite back up here Uncle Peter Lewis.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning. Okay, so this morning I'm going to sing a little tune I wrote actually for my band, the Liverpool Lads, and so it's in that kind of style, which is early 60s beat music, I guess. And I got the idea actually for the song during a sermon at our Clifton church some time ago, and the basic message of the sermon was even if we don't believe in ourselves so much, you know, like our potential for growth or whatever to become great, God certainly does believe in each and every one of us. And it's called I Believe in You. You say goodbye, I say hello. You turn around, I say let's go. Don't be afraid of something new. Oh, I believe in you. You want to run, a daunting task. You need some help, just have to ask. Don't let your pride encumber you. Oh, I believe in you. I believe that everybody's got a song to sing, a rhythm and a perfect melody. Join the chorus, lift your hearts, and sing a song today, a song for you and me. So come along and sail away say goodbye. I say hello. You turn around. I say let's go. Don't be afraid of something new. Oh, I believe in you. Oh, yes, I do. I do believe in you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, rock concert, I feel. Yeah, thank you, Uncle Peter, as always. And to close us out with prayer, I'd like to invite up someone I'm missing, Uncle Levi, Reverend Levi Doherty. Pray for us to close.
Oh, thank you, Milhan. Please join me in prayer. Our dear divine, most loving Heavenly Parent, the day is so exciting. Such a moment that we have been able to acquire by listening to the words of our leader, Dr. Yong, to be able to serve our true mother, who's working so incredibly hard at her time and her age. We certainly want to liberate her from this burden of world, so we can lift up the pain and the sorrow and the suffering, not just from her, but from the entire world. And we ask for special attention and guidance in Japan. For our brothers and sisters looking for the right answer and the right things to do. We don't want to make mistakes in response. We want to make love in response and service in response. We thank you for this opportunity that we have now as your children to stand before Satan and examine ourselves and see if we're ready to get his signature to move forward to the next level. But oh dear God, if we're not, we will not regret. We just keep working harder until we get there. For our divinity is just around the corner. We thank you for the opportunity of divine principle, for it is our lifeline towards your kingdom. Guide us now, I pray, as we continue to work towards the building of the kingdom on earth, as it starts first inside of us. We're so grateful because many times when we begin to build structures, it starts from the outside and then we do the inside last. But dear God, your kingdom is starting from the inside and then work itself on the outside, for the kingdom of heaven is within. Then I repent right now, dear God, that I'm not there yet. But I will continue to work until it overflow to the outside and witness to others and bring them in as well. We thank you for this morning devotion as we prepare ourselves for the rest of the day. Humbly we ask your blessings down each and every one of us and all blessed central families. We pray, amen and adieu.
Adieu. Thank you so much, Reverend Doherty, for your prayer. And with that, brothers and sisters, thank you for joining today and making this such a wonderful experience. Have a great one today, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.